The media and academia will have you believe that racism is on the rise and that white people need to start working on being less racist. Our schools are constantly shoving stories down our throats about white people being racist and that black people absolutely can never be racist. They always leave out some very important and pertinent information though, which we will get into in this video. Now take this Josh Fox tweet for instance. He says, "Dear white people, let's get this straight. You can't be victims of racism. Racism means that the whole culture, society, economy, and much of what is considered law is against you because of your race. All of those things support white people. Stop claiming it. Ever. Period." Now let's humor this sub-100 IQ Solenterate for a minute. In South Africa currently, where the ANC is chanting "kill the white man" and massacring white farmers and expropriating their farms without compensation, are those whites victims of racism, since the government is not controlled by whites? I don't know. Let's go to one of our wonderful universities where they ask that question to find out the answer.
My question is, in the modern era, can it flow the other way? My question is, can you be racist to white people?
No. You cannot be racist to white people. The definition of racism is the oppression of a group, and you cannot oppress white people.
According to the left and their newly created version of the definition of racism, the term means privilege plus power. Even though the definition in every single dictionary ever printed doesn't say this and rather defines it as prejudice or discrimination based on color. There are some statistical facts, though, I must put out there.
You hate white people? I do. I do. And I'm not sorry. Y'all should be sorry, not me. I hate when white people ask that question, like, do you hate white people? What do you think? What do you think?
Now, since people like Josh Fox and others don't think that what you just saw there is racism, don't think that kidnapping a white kid, tying him up, and shouting racial epithets is racist, and don't think that this is racist either.
I don't. Guys, is there anything we should know? No. Want to add?
Just know that all white people are fucking devils.
And make sure you air that one.
We must get into some other instances which debunk their ridiculousness once and for all. First off, let's look at some numbers when separated out relative to group populations in the country. The Hate Crime Statistics Act of 1990, signed by President George H.W. Bush, required the U.S. Attorney General to report hate crimes annually. This tracking system is well documented and available for anyone to check out on the FBI's website. The media, of course, doesn't report this, but within this information it clearly shows that per capita, which is the only number that matters when dealing with populations and census stats, white people commit hate crimes at a massively lower rate than black people. In 2016, according to the FBI, there were a total of 6,121 reported hate crime incidents. According to the FBI and the Attorney General, blacks represented 26.1% of these hate crimes. If you take the population of black Americans versus the percentage of hate crimes in the U.S., we can conclude that black Americans commit hate crimes at a rate of 4.09 per 100,000. Now, this is an astonishing overrepresentation that is completely unreported by anyone in the media. Within this same table, it shows that whites are perpetrators of 46.3% of the reported 6,121 hate crimes. If you take the population of white Americans versus the percentage of hate crimes in the U.S., we can conclude that white Americans commit hate crimes at a rate of 1.24 per 100,000. This is an extreme underrepresentation. Now, this is also backed up by the Southern Poverty Law Center's graph of actual hate groups in America. Surprisingly, this was also published by CNN, except they always will have you believe that whites are the most racist people on the planet. As you can see, the quote, black hate groups outnumber the amount of the KKK. Furthermore, if you break down these groups, you will see that the black hate groups, like the Nation of Islam, have tens of thousands of more members than the KKK. You never see anything written about them, do you? You never see Luis Farrakhan banned from Twitter or de-verified either. More importantly, again, is the per capita number. If black males only make up 6% of the population, yet cause over 26% of all hate crimes and represent an extreme amount of membership in what they call hate groups, then once again we can come to the conclusion that black people can, in fact, be racist. and white people, in fact, are victims of racism, frequently. Now just imagine all of the other hate crimes that completely go unreported. The white people that get beat up for being in black neighborhoods, the white people in majority black high schools who get jumped while they get called racial epithets like white boy or white girl. And as we know, it is very rarely a one-on-one fight. But let's cut to something more interesting right now. There's a near epidemic of black males attacking Jewish rabbis in Brooklyn. Now, a lot of people try to say that Jews are, in fact, white, even though their Ashkenazi and Sephardic DNA shows different from Europeans on ancestry tests and is actually used for approving citizenship in Israel to make sure that you're majority Jewish by blood before you can become a citizen there. But let's dive into this. If you believe that Jews are, in fact, white, and there is a string of incidents happening where black males are attacking Jewish people in Brooklyn, particularly Jewish rabbis, are those fellow white people victims of racism? Take a look.
Look closely at this surveillance video as a man is seen running down the street, then tackles another man and forces him against a fence, choking and punching him.
I turned around and I see that he's right behind me and he jumped me. And then he says, I hate Jews.
The victim, an Orthodox Jewish man, didn't want to give his name, but says he was walking home from his synagogue Saturday afternoon near Rutland Road and Schenectady Avenue when he said hi to a stranger who then got very angry.
I greeted him hello and go and continue. Next thing I know is that he says, I don't like Jews. Who are you talking to? He put me in a headlock and I'm trying to maneuver out of him. And in the meantime, I'm screaming, help, help, help.
Now, did you hear about the 3 attacks in the last 6 months by black males on Orthodox Jews in Brooklyn? Can you imagine if it was a white male who attacked these Jews? It wouldn't leave the segments of CNN for 6 months. Did you ever hear about the story about the white man who had asthma, who was unarmed, who was hogtied by police and died in police custody of an asthma attack? No, you didn't hear about any of these stories. And you won't hear about any of these stories. Now, we know that based on statistics that are even published by left-wing media, the amount of white people shot and killed by police is a greater total sum than the amount of black people shot and killed by police. But of course, when you put these numbers into a per capita calculation, yes, blacks shot by police vastly outnumber the amount of whites killed by police per capita. But then, when you enter into the equation the number of encounters with police and the crimes committed, that overrepresentation completely disappears. Black Americans, more specifically black males, which make up 6% of the population, commit murder at a 12.4 per capita rate, versus whites who commit murder at a 1.4 per capita rate. Black Americans commit robbery at a 104 per capita rate versus whites who commit robbery at a 10.4 per 100,000 per capita rate. Now, the media knows this, and certainly the international elites know this. But of course they're not going to show white people being shot by police. Of course they're not going to cover white people being shot by police because it would completely destroy their narrative of racism and Black Lives Matter and all these other groups that these elites fund, who are foreign, by the way, to this country, to pit races against each other here, to take away the attention from them. All in all, if you're on your way to a university soon, if you're on your way to turn on the TV to watch CNN or Fox News or one of the other Mind Control Inc. media outlets, just know this. Question everything. What they're saying is probably only partially true. What they're leaving out is the rest of the truth. Please go ahead and hit the like button on this video. It boosts the algorithm so that more people can actually see this video. Also subscribe and hit the bell button and visit us on Patreon. Everything helps, even if it's just $1 a month. And once again, subscribe to our backup channel. The link is in the description.